Assalamu alaikum. Fazul again. In our previous video, I have said that I had a typo. It should be ng instead of am. Sorry for that. To run this application, press right click, set as startup project, and also right click on the index, set as start page, and press run. So by default it came the view 1. There is another link view 2. Let's click it. So it came for the view 2, view 1, view 2, view 1, view 2. Please check the route here, the address bar. If I click it, it changes. So what's happening is this route change is here. It calls here the route provider, and in this code I have said if when the route is /view1, the view should be the partial1.html, and if it is view2, it is partial2.html. And what did I put in the partial1, partial2? I put this text and this text. Also, where does this code or HTML loads? It will be loaded in the ng view. So the partial pages will be loaded in the ng view. So I hope now it is clear to you what happened behind the scene. This is not our goal. Our goal is to call this REST service data and bind it with our application. The calling and the managing thing is done by the controller, and in our app.js we have said that this partial1 HTML's controller is my controller, which is my controller, and my controller 2 is the controller for the view 2. I hope in the other videos over the internet you have seen the binding and what is controller, what is service, what is factories. So I'm not going to discuss a lot about those. To test the thing is happening properly here, we just put dot name equals to, we just put a variable scope.name and put the name value as tiger, and we will see this name into the partial1. So span will set the name. Refresh it. Please check that I didn't stop debugging, and I will refresh it. Here it is coming the tiger. So in summary, what we'll put here will automatically bind it to our view in the here. Next, we will loop with a variable. So let's create a scope.students variable here. It is array, and we will add a couple of students here. So scope.students.push is the add method of the array in JavaScript. It is a JSON file, id1 name tiger and address. Okay, we'll add 3 values here. So it's the fixed values to check the data is coming to our UI. Okay, Now this is an array, so how do we display the array to our view? We will use the ngRepeat. ngRepeat is the repeater, something like for each of the C#. So let's create a table tr td. Here we will, okay, so the tr, that means the row will be repeated, so we will write here ng repeat equals to, what is our scope variable? Students. So s in students, and we will see s dot id here. So inside of the table, the number of student we will provide, that count will be repeated to the tr, and only one cell, the td. So let's refresh it. Please, I'm reminding you again, it is coming from the hard-coded values. We are not yet call the web service. We will call it later. So the data is coming 1, 2, 3, and similarly we can put the name here, name, address, and what's the other? Okay, no, nothing else. Let's refresh it. So 1 Tiger Africa, 2 Lion Africa, 3 Monkey India. Okay. But we will call it from the web service. Okay. So let's get back to our web service. What is the web service providing? So let's run it. Right click, debug, start new instance, /API/student. So it is giving us ID, name, phone, and address, and these are the XML. So in this code we are using the JSON. We can easily configure our web API to return JSON by default. To manage or to edit the code, we need to stop the debugging. We'll go to global.asx, I forgot the code. Okay, so currently the API/student is giving us the XML. We will change that. So global configuration .formatters. So we will clear all of the current formatters, and we will just provide the JSON formatter only. JSON media type formatter. So every formatter or every data which is responsed from the web service will be the JSON. Again, repeating in the global.asx of the REST service, we just put these 2 lines of code, and we will rebuild it, rebuild the solution, and let's refresh it. See? Okay, so you might not see these values in this way because I put another Chrome extension, which is the JSON view. So you can install that from the Chrome store and see this beautiful formatting. Another problem you might see is, right click, properties, you might have this enable edit and continue checked. Please uncheck that, because if you check this, you must need to run again and again to see this information, but it is not running right now. So in summary, this API is giving us ID, name, phone, and address. we will bind this JSON data into this view. So we will use the resource. I will discuss it in our next video. Thank you.